Good day, dear viewers. Welcome to Monday's edition of the African News Super Review in English, coming to you live and direct from Golfe TV Africa here in the city of Cotonou with Hazel OGOIGBE. And as usual, we're going to be taking the rounds, touching the pages of the African scene, touching the front pages of the daily, seeing the stories that are trending in various African countries. Now, today we're going to be starting from the local scene, starting from the pages of Le Matinal. And this story brings joy to my heart because it's talking about positive developments in our very own country, Benin Republic. And it's saying Port Novo, Cotonou, Abomey Calavi, Alada, Kota, and Kouandi. And it's saying there are new road infrastructures that would soon be erected. And if you look below that story, it talks about one of the promises made by the President Patrice Talon in 2016, and it's going definitely on the way to being honored and being effected, is the fact that there will be a new bridge when you are coming into the city capital. And not just that also, but there will be a roundabout at Seme Porto, and this is going to boost the development in Benin. And the good thing about it is other infrastructures, road infrastructures, are equally being constructed at Abomey Calavi, Cotonou, and also the north of Benin, which will definitely lead to positive development. Below that story is talking about the 2022-2023 academic entrance. It's a new session and it is under the dynamism of continuity, and this is the address of the government to school actors on pages 13 of the pages of the Le Matinal. Away from the Le Matinal, crossing over to the front page of La Presse du Jour. Still on the local scene, and this is still talking about the 2022-2023 academic year. And it's saying that the government has put everything in place for a calm, restarting of the new academic session. And that is, of course, on pages 3 of the pages of the La Presse du Jour newspaper. Beside that story, it's talking about the Beninese Society for Energy, and it's saying the SBEE has, they've made a call for recruitment. So if you know you're interested in working there, you might as well send in your application. And below that story, this is talking about an exchange, a weekly exchange with the press. Wilfred Hazel OGOIGBE is talking about various problems. And if you want to talk about it, you could check the pages of the La Presse du Jour newspaper. Away from that, let's see what is happening in our neighboring country, Nigeria. Crossing over to the front page of The Nation, Nigeria. Now, The Nation, Nigeria today is still talking about the strike. Reps and ASU meet over face-off with the government. Union asked to submit written presentation. Case against teachers for hearing today. For the past 6 months, federal universities have been on strike and students have been on strike. Now, to that act, students in Nigeria have gone to block the roads of major places, Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, talking about the fact that they are tired of staying at home. And today, they actually came to talk about the fact that they are going to go to the international airport, which is the Murtala Mohammed Airport, to protest there. And this simply means it will cause mayhem in flights that need to take off and, of course, flights that need to land. And above that story, let's go briefly to politics. Why Nigerians in diaspora must mobilize for Tinubu. This is on pages 5. And beside that story, it's saying all the aspirants to Alaafin still qualified, says the Oyomesi, on pages 8 of The Nation, Nigeria. Now, pages 5, Buhari in US for United Nations General Assembly. And then on the Osun poll, Adeleke admits to overvoting in 6 polling units, on pages 5 of the pages of The Nation, Nigeria. Still on The Nation, Nigeria, the story says PDP governors mount pressure on Wike to drop Ayu must go. There has been one mayhem over the other, one internal conflict in the major opposition party, which is the People's Democratic Party. And right now, Nyesom Wike, which is one of the aggrieved members of PDP, is saying, we do not want Ayu. It is not right and it is not just, and it is leading to internal crisis in the opposition party, the People's Democratic Party. Away from that, still on the Nigerian scene, crossing over to the Guardian, Nigeria. And it says the world stands still today for historic Queen's funeral, the death of Queen Elizabeth II. Today's her funeral, and there has been an invitation from different parts of the world. Heads of state are all gathered today for the burial of the Queen in London. Now, beside that story, Kogi Governor Bello appointed National Youth Coordinator of Tinubu Shetima campaign. And below that story, it says, No monkeypox vaccines in Nigeria, says NCDC, and Nigerians sue INEC over voters' registration on pages 4 of the pages of The Guardian. Crossing away from Nigeria, let's see what is happening in Liberia today. Crossing over to the front page of Liberia. Now, on the front page, Liberia today, amidst condemnation over doctored reportage of President Weah's involvement with terrorist group and other surfaces leveling allegations at Cummins, fake videos war. And above that story, VP Jewel Howard Taylor urges CDC chairman to reconcile the party with all disenchanted members and bring them back on the front page. Crossing away from the front page, let's move over to the pages of the Guardian Post Cameroon. Let's see what is happening in Cameroon today. Now, the Guardian Post Cameroon, burning of Catholic Church in Mamfe, Bishop says Catholic Christians stoned Ambazonian fighters responsible, and his lordship Aloysius Fondong described act as abominable on pages 3 of the Guardian Post Cameroon. Now, just below that story, Macron appoints Army General Ambassador to Cameroon, and royal family kicks against planned coronation of Marcus Chick as for Njibi Fondom on the pages of the Guardian Post Cameroon. Crossing away to the Citizen Tanzania, let's see what is happening in Tanzania today on the front page of the Citizen. Now, the top story reads, "This is what is impending reform blueprints. Challenges listed in a new report include the introduction of new fees by regulatory authorities, the lack of proper code of ethics in law enforcement, and information's gap between business associations and business firms," on pages 2 of the Citizen Tanzania. Now, beside that story, it's talking about family boycotts King's body and demands probe on the Citizen, and still the world gathering in London for final farewell to the Queen on the front page of the Citizen. Away from the Citizen, let's move over to the pages of the Namibian Sun. Now, on the pages of the Namibian Sun, the top story reads, "Shifeta slams withdrawal propaganda. Vice President candidate says he will see race through." And just above that story, brave volunteer firefighters put lives on the line. And it's saying for 5 days, volunteer firefighters do the Strash, Shewembemi, and a lot of themselves are making sure they put out the fire, and they are putting their lives on their line to make sure people are safe. Crossing away from that, moving over to the last newspaper for today, which is the pages of the Daily Dispatch South Africa. On the Daily Dispatch South Africa, "I will govern through the people," says presidential hopeful Sisulu. And beside that story, plunge into gloom on the pages of the Daily Dispatch. And a hair doctor uses business to help others on pages 10 of the Daily Dispatch. And our dear viewers, this is where I conclude today's edition of the African Newspaper Review in English, coming to you live and direct from Golfe TV Africa with Hazel OGOIGBE. Thanks for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your day.